Hi there. Today we are going to be going through lab number 9, which is the food web investigation for the Pantanal food area region. So you're going to go into your 4th grade science class and go to classwork, and you're going to scroll all the way down to the topic called lab reports and find the lab called lab number 9. Then you're going to click the words called view assignment. You see that there's already a video for the physical poster if we were in person and how to complete that part of the activity. And then you will see the Google Slides presentation off to the right hand side with your name on it. Go ahead and open that presentation up. A really cool thing about Google Slides is that when you are in a Google Slides presentation, there are things at the bottom called speaker notes, which if you were actually presenting it in present mode, could be something that would be a nice little reference or a notes page, so you wouldn't forget what you wanted to say. In this case, these are some extra instructions and tips to help you complete the lab successfully. Today is going to be a part 1 of the video, and then we will do a part 2 separately to explain some other parts of the lab. Go ahead and make sure you plug in your name, homeroom, and date inside the textbook box on the front page of this lab. Once you've done that, go ahead and click on slide 2 over here to the left-hand side. Slide 2 is a table where you are going to be identifying all of the producers, herbivores, omnivores, carnivores, and decomposers within this Pantanal wetlands ecosystem. In order to write that, you're going to need to use a text box, which is right up here on your little second menu. It is a little box with a T inside. Clicking that button will allow you to draw, by clicking and dragging, a text box. You can also change the background image or weight border of your text box. So I'm going to click on the little paint can, and I'm going to use the bright neon green for producers. Now it does match the background of my lab, and that's okay, but I'm going to be using bright neon green when I get to my food lab pictures on page 3. And then I can use the bulleted point list if I would like by clicking more and bullet points to type in all my producers. So one of our producers is green algae. Another one are grasses, passion fruit, and I can always adjust my text box a little bit so that I kind of get all of my words on one page, and I can always rearrange where I want it to be on the document. And I also have grasses, green algae, passion fruit. And there's one more producer that I just happen to be drawing a blank on for some weird reason. But we'll come back to that in just a second. I'm going to then draw another text box for herbivores. And I'm going to use a nice aqua blue color. And again, go and put bullet points in. And one of my herbivores is a capybara. Another one is tadpoles, insects. There's a couple others that I'm just trying to remember. I'm double checking my book, which is always a good thing to do. So I'm just pulling up the book so I don't forget about it. Aquatic plants is my other producer. And then my herbivores, I'm actually going to go in front of capybara and get rid of the bullet points so it's all on one page. I'm actually going to do the same thing for tadpoles. We have insects, we have the pacu fish, and snails. I'm then going to make another text box in a fuchsia pink color for my omnivores. Omnivores eat everything, both plant and animal. And I have the ibis. No, I don't have the ibis. I have the rainbow cichlid and the ibis. Those are my two omnivores. And again, I'm going to just not use a bullet point for rainbow cichlid, and do another text box for my carnivores, which are going to be in red. And I'm going to do my bullet points. And I have the tegu, which is like a lizard. I have the egret. I have the jaguar, the horned frog, the giant otter, and the caiman. I'm going to take caiman out from a bullet point. And my decomposers is just one picture here, but I'm going to make a text box. And I'm going to use a brown color and do a bulleted point list again. And I have bacteria, I have earthworms, I have fungi, I have centipedes, I have beetles, I have bacteria, I said bacteria. So I have a couple of different things here that belong under decomposers. I'm going to take centipedes and not make it a bullet point. When I have this mostly done, I'm going to move on to the slide 3. This is going to be the last thing I do for part 1 of this lab. I'm going to put a border around each of these pictures so that I have them classified and can easily put them into my food web in their proper location. So to give each picture a border, you're going to click on the image, and right above in the menu area, you're going to click on the little pencil which says border color when you hover above it. I'm going to make all my carnivores red, and next to border color is a border weight. I definitely do not want 24 points or 24 pixels. That's just way too big. I'm going to go with 4 or 8, something a little bit smaller, but still easily seen. And I'm going to do that for all of my different organisms. So my decomposers are going to have that nice brown color that I used on my chart. My producers are going to have a bright green color. My omnivores are going to have the fuchsia pink. And my herbivores are going to have that bright blue color. So I'm going to continue to do this for all of my organisms. When I am done with this, I can move the pictures off to the side in this gray space. To make sure you have the gray space, there are 3 dots at the bottom for speaker notes. Bringing it up gives you more gray space. Bringing it down gives you less. So I want to make sure I have some gray space off to the left and right sides of my Google slide and carefully drag my pictures off to the side. This will then allow me to have tons of white space available for when I need to complete my food web. I can leave 1 or 2 pictures on the white slide. I can also overlap my images off to the side, and that's going to be fine for this experiment or this activity. So again, my passion fruit is a producer, bright green. I'm going to do tadpoles. They're one of my herbivores. But my horned frog is a carnivore. My snail is an herbivore, bright blue. Giant otter is a carnivore. My jaguar is a carnivore. Insects are an herbivore. My other omnivore would be my ibis, so I'm going to make that my fuchsia pink color. My egret is a carnivore. My tegu is a carnivore. And my pacu fish is a herbivore. Now, of course, I'm going to double check against my chart and against the information provided to me in my student reader. And if I've made a mistake, I'm going to go back and make sure I fix that mistake before continuing on to part 2 of the lab, which will focus on making the actual food web on slide 3 and possibly going over the questions on slides 4 and 5. So make sure that you have everything done correctly on 2 and 3 before you watch part 2. And I'll see you in the next one.